I think the Lift Every Voice project is really important at this moment because we're in a moment of change and also of looking back. It's the 400th anniversary of 1619 when the first African Americans came as enslaved peoples to what became the United States. Thinking of 250 years, I started thinking of it as a quarter of a millennium. And suddenly it's a long while when you start to think of that African American tradition. And you can't hear this poetry and not think of all the voices that have come before. And even the title, Lift Every Voice, thinks about that quality, that every voice is important. It's not just one voice, it's many voices lifted up together, separately, throughout time, to speak to power, but also speak about power, and to speak powerfully about whatever they wish. And that is, to me, the greatest freedom, is that these poets write about what they need to write. And that includes everything from, being at war to being at home. From waking up in the cold on Sunday to sleeping in a foreign land and dreaming oneself home. All these kinds of qualities that I think help realize the African American imagination. And that imagination is vast and broad and deep, deep like the rivers, you might say. I really see the ways that people crave poetry, its intimacy, its directness, its music, its emotionality. And I think that quality you're going to find in the anthology and also in this project. You can find it online. You can find it in between the pages of the book. I remember being a poet, and I knew no poets starting out in Kansas. And if there was something like this, it would help me understand the ways that I was connected to a long tradition, which I later had to uncover and discover, which has its own pleasures. But there's something about, going to the bookmobile or going to your local library and being able to see and hold in your hands the history of Black poetry in this country.